Well, instead of fumbling around with trying to raise everything up in that area where I'm going to put Quick's coal, I decided, you know, I got some hole saws, so why don't I just drill the holes in there? And luckily, there was just enough space to get the drill down in there to get it started. Luckily, man, I was sweating it. I said, man, I'm going to have to take that off the top or go underneath and drill up towards it. But I had enough room, so let's see what we can do right now. I'll get over there and drill another hole. I put some pilot holes in there thinking that, it wouldn't fit, but once I got that, so I'll do a series of holes in there and have to cut it out manually or not. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But first, I got to have my coffee here, so hold on a second. Happy 250th birthday, America. All right, so I have to go back and sit down, and after I drill the hole, put, so how come this, I made it that way, so I started out this way. Here we go. That's a half a one. It went over a little bit too far. I was hoping it would be over a little bit further, so I wouldn't have to cut so much out. But that's good enough. These partial ones are probably harder to get out, but I got it. There we go. I just have to go in there with a small saw and then clean up all these ridges on there. And that was easier than I thought. Well, have another cup right here. I could go from underneath and use my jigsaw. That's probably what I'll have to do. But then I'll have to I gotta clean out all that shit underneath there to get all the sawdust out from underneath there. Because I got my G-scale stuff down there and some buckets and electrical supplies and baskets underneath there, so I'm gonna have to clean that out anyway. So okay, let's see what we can get done here. I got that jigsaw out, cleared that area out, and I cleared out the back of it so far. So let's see if we can get the rest of this. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Yeah. I'm just worried about that piece on the left there. I didn't see that before, but well, I think it might be far enough out of the way. Okay, I still got something over there. Okay, so what is it? Gotta go on the bottom and see what's hitting there. Something. Okay, yeah, the part on the left that I was worried about right there. Yeah, trim that out just a little bit. Everything else should be okay. I might have to get this part on the right too. I might have to, yeah. I cut straight across. I should have cut it on an angle like I cut it on up on the top there. Okay. Almost there. Alright, then I was getting sawdust in my eyes. I couldn't see. Is that what goggles are for? Alright, that looks good there. That should do it. I'll just have to cut a little notch in the foam for the wire right there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this other camera on and see what it looks like looking down from that camera. Alright, there we go. Okay. So that will look good like that. We got it. Alright, so there it is. Now I just got to clean up this mess right here. Because of the location of the where I have that, and you know, it's tight clearance on the top and on the side, I soldered a short straight track to it, to the back, and then I put a 1/3 of the piece of 22-inch radius curved track on it. So that'll get it out far enough so when I'm over on the layout, I'll be able to play around with it a little bit better and be able to cut the existing track up there. So let's see what's going on here. Now I notched out a place for these wires right here. Okay, so that gets it over here. And then this thing right here I could move. Okay, so now I could get this over here. Okay, now I'll be able to bring it over like this and then mark it where I need to cut it, and then I'll be able to bring the Dremel tool over here. So I hope I'll be able to see that. And the connector always gets stuck over there. And I'm going to rip the roof off and drop the whole thing down one of these days. There we go. Alright, so now that is marked. And to keep this thing straight, I'll do that right there. So I got the thing marked right there. So I'll just come back with the Dremel tool and hit it like that. Alright, I had to go back and get the block. I always use this block to hold the rail steady. Now, the only thing I'm going to have to do is get underneath there and do the tie and then shave that, because I did that on an angle. Otherwise, you know, would be hitting the rails and you have a gap on the top, but not on the bottom. Okay, we'll work with that. Get my stuff, get the rail joiner, and go from there. Okay. Well, while I was moving this stuff around, I ended up breaking the little joint at the very corner of that where the grate is. So I had to put some glue back in right here. So I'm holding it in there with a clamp right now. So that's what happens when you know, you have to work on it. You manhandle it and shit breaks all the time. And while I was looking at that, I was making sure that I didn't knock any more of the chutes off. But I think we're in good shape with the chutes. And you'll also notice that the smoke jack is off the office. I have to glue that back on because when I laid the office over on its side early this morning, I knocked the smoke jack off. Okay, I adjusted the camera a little bit just to get over there so you can have a better look at it. So here you go. I got it in there. So now I could start working on some other stuff like the other end. I could glue the this part in. I got to get all this crap out of here first. Okay. This is the stuff that I took out, dug out to get the wires down in there. This one. Okay, that's how it's going to look right there. Okay. So I got some curved track up here, but they're all, I got like 3 sections of curved track all together. It'll be like so, huh? Something like that. Let me get one of those 22-inch radius tracks. Let's put this one right here. Okay, I might have to trim the close one down a little bit. So there we go. All right. You know, I might put a turnout right here and bring this back up, so because I got the stockyard back on that end, and I have a turnout way over on this other corner. So if I need to, I can bring all the stock cars out of here and bring it back up through here. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so there you go. So now if I have a broad enough curved turnout over here, and probably all the curved ones that I have are going the opposite direction. Let's see what we got here. If I had to use a straight one, how long this is right here. So we have about 38 inches right there from that turnout on the siding to this one over here going that way. So 38 inches is 4, 5, 6, 7 cars. So that ought to be long enough. That ought to work. Okay. So that's the plan right there. I'll put in a turnout, but should I see if I can get a curved, left-hand curved? Those would probably cost me about $30-some. So let me see what they have online. I have to check to see what radius this one is right here. Okay. On Lincoln Creek, the majority of my turnouts were curved because you could get more done with curved turnouts. And here, these are all straight ones right here. How the hell did I get all of them in here? Oh, I guess I just had them sitting up on top. Yeah, this one's a Pico, so this is a really wide one. You can see the difference. Let me put this up here like that. But that's what I need in the left-hand turnout. Go online to see if I got any, find any left-hand curved turnouts. That way I'll at least get longer than 38 inches. All right. That's the plan. Well, I think I've seen the one that I will need. Number 595 Atlas, 32.95 from Atlas, but other ones sell it for like 23 bucks. Let's see. Tony's Trains. And I know TRF Trains has them. Okay, so TRF Trains in Melbourne. He doesn't do any online shit, does he? Okay. Products. Yeah, he doesn't have a good catalog of doing stuff online, but that's what I need, a 595, because I bought a 595 from the other side over there, so that's the deal. And then over on the siding, it's going the diverging from the curve track on the main line is going to go into the straight part of the turnout on the siding, and so the siding is going to go on the curve. So I have the perfect one for over there. I think it's a number 4 or number 5. Pico number 5. So that's the plan.